на сборах были 3 недели, приехали. Опасность, конечно, если человек чемпион на какой-то вес, особенно у нас в организации, там таких проходных не бывает, так что подхожу. Я собираюсь его переводить, я собираюсь его контролировать, заставлять его устать, навязывать свой стиль боя.
When was the last time you think you watched this much tape for an Islam fight?
Never.
Really?
Never.
Wow.
I never watched tape by Islam fight. Never. This is the first time because I respect this guy that much, and he's a puzzle. He's not that easy. I'm telling you, he's not that easy. So we'll get him, and I have to be confident that we'll get him. Because if I don't, then what's the point of watching the videos, right? We can't get him. No, we'll get him. It's just very difficult because he's so damn good.
Islam Makhachev is fully focused on his upcoming title shot against JDM at UFC 322. The Dagestani superstar is confident about his win, but he isn't underestimating his opponent as well. In a recent interview, Islam Makhachev revealed his training camp has just started, but is going well. He acknowledges that Jack Della Maddalena is a real threat, pointing out that every UFC champion is dangerous. Makhachev explains that he's approaching the fight with full focus and expects to be in peak shape by mid-November for their welterweight title clash.
Khabib анонсировал твой бой против Маддалены за титул в полусреднем весе. И расскажи, как проходит твоя подготовка и видишь ли ты опасность в нем?
Подготовка проходит хорошо, только начали. Как раз только говорил, что на сборах были 3 недели, приехали. Опасность, конечно, если человек чемпион на какой-то вес, особенно у нас в организации, там таких проходных не бывает. Так что подхожу с максимальной ответственностью к этому бою и думаю, буду к середине ноября в хорошей форме.
However, Jack Della Maddalena said he's prepared to defend his title against Islam Makhachev at UFC 322. He surprised many by claiming Belal Muhammad is better striking than Islam and predicted that he would beat him without much trouble. Jack explained that Islam's traditional stance makes him more predictable, though he still recognized him as the pound-for-pound #1.
I mean, it's just I think Islam Makhachev is a better version of Belal. I think his striking on the feet is I think it's more. I even think it's easier. The striking on the feet, I think it's easier than Belal because he's more just he'll stay in one stance. He's more traditional style. But yeah, he's the pound for pound #1. So it's a tough fight. But I guess we'll just watch all these fights again, make a solid game plan, and then just start working at it. From pretty much now, I'm going to start working on ways to beat him, different ways to get back to my feet, stuff in the takedown. But I'm pretty confident I can get this one done.
Islam Makhachev's coach, Javier Mendez, responded to Jack Della Maddalena's comments by warning him not to underestimate Islam's striking. He explained that no opponent has ever found it easy to deal with Islam on the feet, and if Jack believes otherwise, he will be in for a harsh reality check. Mendez emphasized that once fighters step inside the cage, Islam's skills feel far different from what they appear to be from the outside.
JDM did an interview just, I think, this week, and he broke down that he believes Islam's stand-up is a little bit easier to deal with than Bilal's because Islam has more of a traditional style for his stand-up. Do you feel like people are kind of missing some of the X factors that Islam brings with his striking?
If he's saying that, I hope that he goes in believing that, because when he gets in there with Islam, you're going to find out a whole different story because I'm sorry, they're completely different. And by no means is Islam an easy for anybody on the stand-up. No, any MMA fighter that's a striker, that's not going to have an easy time with him. I've been with this kid like going on 11 years of watching him just destroy everybody on the stand-up. Guys that are much better stand-up than him, and he still destroys them. So, no. Don't go by what you see. When you get in there with that man, it's a whole different ballgame.
Meanwhile, Dan Hooker weighed in on Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena, saying he was confident stylistically that the UFC deliberately pushed for this matchup. He believes Makhachev's team must have seen something, but admitted it was still a huge step up for Jack. Hooker noted that Jack is a big, strong fighter, and while Islam has a chance, he felt the fight leaned in Della Maddalena's favor.
Pretty confident stylistically with that Jack Della fight to kind of gone out of their way to chase that fight down. So they obviously see something. I feel like it'll be close, but yeah, that's a big step up. Jack Della's a pretty big boy.
Do you think Islam can get past him?
he's obviously got like I feel like he's got a chance, but I feel like that fight leans towards Jack Della.
Stephen Thompson said that Islam Makhachev could win the fight, but it was not guaranteed. He explained it all depended on who showed up and stuck to their game plan, and when pressed to give a pick, Thompson leaned toward Jack Della Maddalena.
I mean, I think he could. He can. He can win this fight. It's not a for sure thing. It's not one of those like on paper, oh, he's going to just beat him. No. He can win it. It all depends on who shows up and who sticks to their game plan.
Okay, but if you had to give a lean, if you had to pick someone, who would you pick?
I'm going to go for JDM.
However, Elijah Smith leaned toward Islam Makhachev, explaining that Belal Muhammad hurt himself against Jack Della Maddalena by trying to prove his striking instead of sticking to his strengths. He said Islam wouldn't make that mistake, as he isn't afraid to shoot for takedowns repeatedly in a Khabib-like style. Smith added that styles make fights, but he believes Islam's approach gives him the edge.
I want to say Islam, and the reason why I say Islam is because I feel like Belal, he went out there when he fought Jack, and he went out there trying to prove the fans that he can strike, which I think that kind of hurt him. I feel like if Belal went out there and did what he did to what's his name, Leon Edwards, I think he probably would have had a better chance of getting the win. But it seemed like he just wanted to show people that he had with Canelo hands, which sometimes you don't need to prove anybody anything. You're the champion. You don't have to prove anything to somebody who's trying to take your spot. You just got to go out there and fight your game. If they stop it, then we move on to something different. But I think Islam is that type of guy where he's not going to be scared to take you down or shoot repetitively, almost in that Khabib-esque type of feel. But I guess we'll see. You know what they say, styles make fights.
Meanwhile, Khabib Nurmagomedov said he still considers Jack Della Maddalena the toughest challenge of Islam Makhachev's career. He explained that he had been watching JDM for years and recognized him as a dangerous striker with sharp technique. Khabib also pointed out that Maddalena had already beaten several strong wrestlers and handled those tests well, making him a serious threat.
Бой Ислам Махачев против Магдалены. От тебя прозвучало о том, что это будет самый тяжелый бой в карьере Ислама. Почему?
Ну, мы не можем сразу все карты раскрывать, потому что наши соперники тоже нас слушают. Но скажу так, что я давно слежу за Магдаленой. Он как боец очень интересный. Тогда, конечно, у меня даже в голове не было насчет боя Ислама и Магдалены. Но судя по его скиллам, по его технике, по его ударке, судя по тому, как он защищается против борцов, а он дрался с борцами. Рамазан хорошо борется, Гилберт Бронс хорошо борется, Белал Мухаммад хорошо борется. Он дрался с такими.
Khabib Nurmagomedov said Jack Della Maddalena had already proven himself by beating opponents with reach, wrestling, power, and toughness. He pointed out that JDM was 9-0 in the UFC and trained with the same team that helped Alexander Volkanovski prepare for Islam. For these reasons, Khabib described him as a very dangerous opponent.
Ребятами, у кого длинные рычаги, тот же Холланд. Ну, то есть он дрался и с борцами, и с ударниками, и с физически крепкими ребятами. Он такой, знаешь, проверку прошел, 9-0 UFC чемпион. У него та команда, которая готовила Волконовского на Ислама. Вот это все вместе, если сопоставить, я вижу в нем очень грозного соперника.
On the other hand, Jack Della Maddalena's coach, Ben Vickers, expressed full confidence heading into UFC 322, claiming Islam Makhachev wouldn't be able to handle Jack's power. He explained that unlike Belal Muhammad, Islam doesn't have the same level of durability, and if Jack lands clean, the fight could end instantly, whether in the opening minute or deep into the later rounds. Vickers highlighted Jack's mix of knockout power and cardio, stressing that he is a danger at every stage of the fight.
I just don't think Islam has the chin that Belal has.
You feel like it's a situation where this is going to be an eventual down the line, like third, fourth round? Or do you think people might even be shocked to see it happen earlier on?
We know for a fact if Jack clips someone clean on the chin, they can go over. So it could happen in the first minute. It could happen in the 24th minute. It could happen in the 24-minute, 59 seconds. It could happen 3 rounds in. Jack likes long fights. You know, he likes to be in there. But obviously we're not getting paid for overtime. So if the opportunity arises, we're happy to take it. But Jack's cardio, as we saw, Belal's reputedly the best cardio in the UFC, and Jack out cardioed him. Belal was more tired than Jack towards the end of the fight. So you know, Jack's cardio is exceptional, his power is exceptional. And yeah, I like the fight. I really do.
Ben Vickers said he doesn't expect Islam Makhachev to come in recklessly, pointing out that Islam is too composed and skilled for that. Still, he believes Islam will look to close the distance quickly and force Jack into his grappling game, even if only to wear him down. Vickers explained that standing with Jack for too long exposes Islam to the same danger Belal Muhammad faced, his knockout power. Because of that, he expects Islam to avoid extending striking exchanges and bring the fight into his own world as nearly and early as possible.
Well, I was going to ask you, do you think it's straight away shooting in, establishing his wrestling, getting JDM up against the fence, or do you think he goes out there and actually tries to test his striking against you guys?
No, I don't think he's going to go out and try and test his striking, but I also don't think he's going to rush. You know, I mean, he's a very composed guy. He's a very high-level, skillful person. You know, he's not going to rush and be running at Jack's hips. You know, but he is going to try and get hold of Jack as quickly as possible, even if it's just to try and tire him out in the early parts of the fight and get him into his world quickly. He will take damage from Jack as Belal did if he's on the feet. So I'm sure he's going to not want to be there.
Welterweight contender Colby Covington picked Islam Makhachev to defeat Jack Della Maddalena. He admitted Islam may be smaller as a natural lightweight, but described him as a well-rounded fighter. Colby said that if Islam takes JDM down and controls him, he has a strong chance of winning. He added that the size difference makes the matchup intriguing, but with the odds favoring Makhachev, he leans toward the champion.
Islam versus JDM, what do you make of that? Islam moving up to now welterweight?
Yeah, it's an interesting fight. I'm excited to see how it goes. You know, Islam, is a lightweight. He's going to be a little smaller in the fight, but he's a well-rounded fighter. So, if he's able to take down JDM and control him, he could definitely get the job done. But it's going to be interesting to see how the size advantage plays a difference in the fight.
Who do you favor?
I mean, I seen the odds were pretty big. They favored Makhachev like 3-1. So I guess I got to go with the odds if they're going 3-1. But just because JDM doesn't have good takedown defense, but you never know. It's a fight, and JDM has some good hands, so it should be an exciting fight for the fans.
Terrence McKinney feels that many people believe Islam Makhachev's chin will hold it better at welterweight since he won't be drained. He expects Islam to be stronger on the ground and predicts a closer fight than most anticipate. McKinney could see Islam winning 3 rounds to 2 and becoming a double champion.
People think his chin's going to be much better. He's not drained. I think he's going to be stronger once he hits the ground. I think it's going to be a closer fight than people think, but I can see Islam definitely winning 3 rounds to 2 and becoming a double champ.
However, Michael Bisping shared that he is surprised to see Islam Makhachev listed as such a heavy favorite against Jack Della Maddalena. He called the odds disrespectful, highlighting Jack's 18-fight win streak and his victory over Belal Muhammad, where he defended every takedown. Bisping cautioned that if Islam decides to keep the fight standing, it could backfire, since Jack's boxing and footwork gave him a serious chance to win.
It's an interesting fight because the crazy thing is that Islam Makhachev is quite a sizable favorite according to DraftKings, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure I saw that online earlier this morning. And I think that's a little bit disrespectful to Jack Della Maddalena. The man's on an 18-fight winning streak. He just beat Belal Muhammad. He defended all the takedowns there. He's beaten grapplers before in the past. Yes, Islam Makhachev is incredible, and he'd be another contender for pound #1, greatest of all time, whatever you want to call it. But Belal Muhammad was a perfect warm-up fight for Islam Makhachev. And with the boxing of Jack, if Islam was to stand with him, that'd be a bad idea. With Jack's boxing and the footwork that is associated with boxing, that's going to help him. That's going to be very advantageous. He knows how to defend the takedown. He knows what he's doing off his back. He can get back to his feet. So, yeah, I understand why Islam is a slight favorite, because he's tried and tested and the greatest lightweight fighter that the sport's ever seen. But, don't be surprised if Jack Della Maddalena gets it done.
Meanwhile, Eric Anders sided with Islam Makhachev, saying that while he respects Jack Della Maddalena's boxing skills and striking danger, Islam's superior wrestling makes the difference. Unlike Belal Muhammad, Anders noted, Islam will actively pursue takedowns instead of trading punches, which he believes will secure the win for the lightweight champion.
I'm gonna go Islam. I really like Jack. I think he's like a superb fighter, especially with his boxing and whatnot. He could catch Islam, but he's clearly a much better wrestler than Belal, and will actively seek the takedowns instead of just trying to stand and bang with them. So I think that Islam will get him.
On the contrary, bantamweight Davey Grant picked Jack Della Maddalena to win, saying the size difference could be a major factor. He acknowledged that Islam Makhachev is already a big lightweight, but felt the jump from 155 to 170 pounds is still significant.
Well, you know what it is? I'm gonna go with Jack. I think the size might be a bit of an issue. I know Makhachev's obviously a big guy, very big for lightweight as well, but I feel like it's a big jump to 55 to 70.
Max Holloway also gave his take on a potential fight between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena. He acknowledged Islam's complete skill set, but warned against overlooking Jack, calling him one of the best in the division. Holloway noted that fans often underestimate Jack the same way they once underestimated him. While he agreed Islam deserves his pound-for-pound status, he said his matchup would be both challenging and entertaining.
I think he'd be fine, man. I think he'd be good, but people be sleeping on Jack, you know what I mean? And I think Jack is one of the best fighters in the world right now, and I think people is gonna find out when that match happens. I don't know. I'm hearing rumors maybe October. I think it's gonna be a fun fight, smart fight, but a lot of people counting out Jack for I don't know what reason. They just keep counting him out. Kind of reminds me of when I was like coming up and counting me out about certain fights. So I mean, he is, he's the number 2 pound for pound in the world right now, but he's the number 2 pound for pound in the world for a reason. So you gotta respect that, but. Don't sleep on Jack. I think it's going to be a tough and fun fight.
Robert Whittaker also broke down the fight and leaned toward Jack Della Maddalena. He believed Jack's toughness and determination would allow him to deal with Islam Makhachev's wrestling pressure. Whittaker pointed out that Jack's striking could be the difference if the fight stayed standing, and added that Islam might hesitate to rely solely on his takedowns, knowing Jack could still be dangerous off his back.
I'm going to go Jack. I think Jack has that X factor. I think he has the gut, the grit, the determination to fight the takedowns, to fight the ground, the takedown attacks that Islam is going to go for. And I think in a striking fight, straight up, Jack is better. I think he wins in the hands. Yeah. I think Jack's got the better game to strike over 5 rounds than Islam does as well, especially if Islam is trying to go for takedowns during the fight. Yeah. I think, and this is people sleep on Jack's grappling game. They sleep on his jiu-jitsu. I don't think Islam is going to be as gun-ho with the takedowns as everybody believes, because Jack has that level of offense off his back.
Robert Whittaker analyzed the fight strategically, drawing parallels to Islam Makhachev's clash with Alexander Volkanovski. He believed Jack Della Maddalena had the skill set to take advantage of openings that others might miss. Whittaker emphasized Jack's timing and striking precision as potential weapons against Islam's pressure when closing the distance. While acknowledging Islam's clear wrestling advantage, he noted that Jack's blend of grappling and striking ensured he remained a threat in every round.
From the things that I remember seeing in the Volk fight, their first pairing, I see the fight potentially going that way, but I think Jack's in a better position to take advantage of the things that Volk couldn't. I think he's got better hands, especially over 5 rounds with the longer arms and the reach, especially considering Islam's going to be trying to close that distance to get closer. Jack's tight fighting is so high level. Honestly, skill-wise, I think they both have their strengths. I don't think either one of them is overly superior in any which way. Islam would be a better wrestler, but Jack has the grappling to kind of threaten that. Not to mention, I think he's got the type boxing to make him pay for anything he doesn't pull off well.
Moreover, Bilal Muhammad predicted that Islam Makhachev would lean on his grappling and discipline style to control Jack Della Maddalena. He praised Islam's ability to stay committed to his game plan, calling it one of his biggest strengths. Bilal admitted that staying composed during striking exchanges has been a challenge for him personally, and said fights like this show how vital patience and strategy are inside the cage.
How do you think Islam versus JDM goes down?
Honestly, I think Islam will probably take it down. Islam's wrestling really good. Even with me, I really committed to it. I took it down. Their team's so good at hacking at game plan and sticking to it.
You said that you kind of abandoned the game plan a little. You think if you got a rematch, you would change the game plan a bit?
No, I mean, honestly, I think I won 3 rounds, but you have to go out there and make it more clear. When you get into the cage and you're fighting, right, you get into that, I feel like striking it. Let's keep going. I was doing well with it. Let's keep going. If your coach is trying to get you to focus on the game plan again, it's like, man, I'm doing well with it. You're thinking you're doing better than you are. Every fight, you gain something from it, right? This fight, I gained something from it.
However, Israel Adesanya has a different opinion as he backed Jack Della Maddalena to finish Islam Makhachev. He argued that Islam would struggle with Jack's scrambles and his ability to reset quickly after getting back up. Adesanya expressed full confidence in Jack and confirmed his plans to watch the fight live.
Della versus Islam. Della is going to get it done. Islam would feel like he bit off more than he could chew once he gets in there with him because his scrambles are crazy, and I feel he's going to knock him out because I just think he's not going to be able to hand with him on the scrambles, or when he gets back up, I really think he's going to get him, and I can't wait till that happens.
So, that's all for today's video. What do you think about this epic matchup between JDM and Islam? Share your predictions in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure to check out our other videos for more awesome MMA content.